Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name's Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. Today I'm introducing a new cut file to my Etsy shop, and it's a part of my Slimline box series. And I'm just going to get started and show you what it is. So this is the Slimline Waves box card. I did a new base for you. So the original Slimline that I did is squared, and it comes with these straight panels that would be shaped like this. And then I did a second one where I had a cloud background with cloud inserts. This one has the rounded corners and it has waves in like your classic little half circle waves. Plus I also included these like swoopy waves. So you'll get 3 cut files in both SVG and FCM. FCM is the Brother Scan and Cut, which is what I use because I set them up a little bit differently. The SVG has a solid line here for all of your folding. And if you have a Cricut, you'll change those lines to be score lines. I'm not 100% sure how a Cricut works, but I know it has scoring abilities. I have an older Brother Scan and Cut, so mine does not. So I always change the FCMs to little dash lines that are easy to fold on. So you just, this one I've already folded a bit. So you just fold along those little holes that it cuts, and they're not noticeable. It just helps you fold the paper a little bit easier, and then you can use your bone folder to help flatten it. So it does leave a little bit of a like textured edge, I guess, like you can feel like little bumps, but I'm not bothered by that. Like once it gets glued to the card, you're not even gonna notice anyway. But that's how I set up my FCM files. If you don't want your FCM files cut that way and you have maybe a newer machine that does allow for scoring, then you could just import the SVG files into your Canvas workspace and change it that way. So you'll get one file with the base and these 3. The second file comes with 3 of these, and then the third file is the matting layers. So you get the back, the sides, and the front. So the back one goes obviously on the back of the card, and this is where like the recipient can write their message, or you can put more imagery on the back, and then you could include a note with this card instead of writing on the back. Sometimes when you fill it up with a little too many images, it might become difficult to actually write on the back afterwards. So yeah, but this is like if I make this type of card, I will write my message and sign it on the back. I've already stamped my logo on the left side because I always forget to do that until after. So I thought I would do it early. I usually do it on this, the right side panel. Because when I fold the cards into the envelope, I generally fold them so that they lay this way, and so that it's hidden. And then these side panels would go here on each side, just to cover the sides up if you are using a pattern paper or whatever. Today I'm not going to be using these, I just cut these as an example. And then this layer is for your front if you want to stamp on a different piece of paper. Sometimes when I do the matte layers, like I'll follow this edge, but this is such like a low scoop, it would barely make a difference in here, so I just decided to keep it the flat one. So I'll stamp my greeting on this strip. You could just straight up just use this, which is fine, but it depends on like what kind of cardstock you're using. If you're using a darker color, then maybe you want a matte layer so you can stamp your sentiment on it. So I will be using this strip today. And then for the card itself, I will be using the traditional waves. I'm not using this today, but I might actually add it to my matte layer at the back. I might just like glue it there or something, like a little extra, and then the person could like write their note up here and then sign it at the bottom, and then I'll just trim off the excess. So we'll get started on the card itself. I have the stencil that I will show in an upcoming video as well, but it's I got a bunch of stencils from Temu, so I'll be using this. It's kind of like a watery texture. I don't think I'm going to use it straight up because it does not fully fit. It's like 1/8 of an inch shorter in this section, so I'll probably just pick sections and just ink blend here and there, and I'll also do it on the inserts. And then for the images, I'll be using Lawn Fawn's Ocean Shelfie stamp set. That's a bit of a tongue twister, but I'll probably be using like both the octopus, the jellyfish, and some fishes, and I will use up one of these sentiments, which I haven't decided yet. So for now, we'll just get into some ink blending. So again, like this stencil doesn't exactly fit. Like if you line up the inside edge to here, you can see that it's like just slightly too small. You can probably ink blend and then into nothing, and then ink blend into nothing, which is what I might do. We'll see. But I'm gonna use Lawn Fawn's Forget Me Not ink because it is a similar color to this cardstock, but it's just I think it's slightly darker. It's actually, this might be, okay, we'll see. I might have to use the Blue Jay ink. This one might be a little too light. It looks like it's a pretty good match to this actually. I'll try it and see how it goes. I made a bit of a mess of these, but I will cover those up with some images. That's fine. I'm just gonna set these aside to dry while we work on the stamped images. Okay, so I've had to stamp and recolor my images because the Misty Gods were not nice to me today, and the first one didn't line up exactly. The border looks a little fuzzy if it's not aligned 100%. So I just will scrap those, and I stamped them again, and the second time was the charm. I even changed up the yellow on the fish a little bit. It was a little bit too dull, so I made them a bit brighter. So we're gonna start assembly of the card base now. You're gonna need a bone folder, and I'm just gonna fold in the sides of the base, the back, and reinforce that fold. And I think actually before I get started, I'm gonna do this matte layer swag. That comes a little bit more difficult as well if you leave it till the end. And I think I will glue this down to help break up all of the white. So I'm just gonna I'm not perfectly centering it because I do want, this one has a little bit more space between the fold before the curve, and then this one, if I put it right where it was supposed to be over a bit, then this point would be too close over. So I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then I will trim off these ends, and then I'll use that. Yeah, that's cute. Okay. And all my matte layers, I leave an 1/8 of an inch border around them. If you wanted the whole back covered, you could also cut another base and then just cut off the sides. I think that's cute though. It's a little different from what I usually do. And then I'm gonna glue this. I should stamp. I'm gonna stamp the sentiment on the strip first. I'm just gonna put this off to the side in the center, maybe here. And I'm just gonna stamp it in the blue jade ink. Okay, and that was going on this one. This matte layer will help strengthen this front panel. I think for the other ones, I'm going to cut some scraps and and just reinforce it again. Like, I'm only using 65-pound Recollection cardstock on these because that's the cardstock that I generally use, so it is a bit more flimsy. It is okay for the cards, but I would prefer to have a bit of a backing. So now I'm going to fold over all of my little tabs. Just following that, either the score line or the dotted cutted line, depending on which file you're using. This one's already been folded. Back. Okay, and then we're going to glue our panels to this one. I usually start with the front, and I'm going to use liquid glue. I know some people don't suggest this because it takes a little bit longer to dry, but I think it holds better than double-sided tape. I'm actually going to fold it back and lay it down. Make sure it's straight. I'm going to cover up these splotches too. This panel is 1.5 inches, so I usually put one at every 1/2 inch. So you put one at the front, one at 1/2 inch, one at 1 inch, and then the other one will be your back layer, so you don't need to worry about that one. So you just want to take your left, I always work on the left side first. I don't know why, it's just the way, I think that's the way I watched how to do it on YouTube. So I'm going to go 1/2 inch in and then line it up with the top so that this fold point here meets up with this edge. And then again, you just want to make sure that it's going to be straight. And then again, you want to move to the 1 inch line. Okay, and then make sure that it's level with the other layers. Just hold it there for a second. Okay, that looks pretty cool. So what we're gonna do is now fold these this way. This middle one might be a bit crooked. If it's a bit crooked, it's usually okay. You just need to like reinforce it when you're done folding. And just to double check, you just want to make sure that these folded points line up with this side. Like that. So this fold point here should match up with this edge here. This is usually my check point. Okay, and then I'll hold them there because like I said, it might be a little warped. And then I'll just hold them. Actually, it's not too bad. Okay, and then I just want to like fold it back and forth and make sure. And then you have your 3D layers. If you want, you can make like little boxes that go on the inside to help stabilize the layers. Like right now they're pretty flat, they're good. But if you wanted to do that, you would make a 1/2 inch box, and I would maybe put one here and then one in here. And then potentially one in the middle of the back if you wanted to. I don't usually worry about that. This will probably be on display for a bit at someone's house, and then they'll fold it up and put it in their stash if they're keeping it, or it'll get recycled anyway. So I like to think that everybody keeps the cards I make. Okay, and then we're going to start decorating. This is a little difficult sometimes. I like to do it when it's assembled though, because then it's easier to see. Like maybe I'll put octopus over here. I was planning on putting him over here, but... And you don't want to go beyond this top part, just because I did do the files so that they were, they would fit in a slimline card. So this is 3.5, and then when it's folded like this, it's 8.5. So it's 3.5 by 8.5, and then when it's this way, it's 3.5 tall by 1.5 depth by 7 inches wide. But then it folds down to fit into a standard slimline card envelope. Okay, that's pretty cute. You could like add a bunch more stuff into this if you wanted to. I think I'm just gonna leave it that way. I don't like my card to be too busy, and with the pattern and everything, I think this is good. I think I'm gonna add some bubbles. And I have my embellishments saved in these scrapbook.com containers, and then when I get the bubble type ones in, I usually sort out the biggest ones into a separate container just because I do find that they're a little bit too big, so I save those for cards when I know I'm going to use them. And then the other 3 or 4 sizes go into a container together. And the little ones are probably what I want to use for this card. I don't want to make it too much, but I do want to add a little bit of something. So that's our card for today. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions for other Slimline box cards you would like, or even the A2 size. I do have 5 A2 sized cut files in my shop, as well as 3 of the Slimline version. And I will be adding to that series throughout. I'll link my other video that I did at the end where it shows you how these kind of are interchangeable. So all the Slimlines, like, you could use these wavy borders on the one with the clouds background, or you could use it on the standard one. And then same with all the A2s. I have like a hills, a mountains one, just a plain. I did a wave one for that as well. So you can kind of interchange the backgrounds with the inserts for all of the cut files. And I size them so that you can do that. They do all come with different shaped backgrounds and different inserts, but you can mix and match however you want. So let me know down in the comments what you thought of this video. Like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!